Exciting one for you guys today. Going to bring you the first week of Q3, talk through the higher time frames into the lower time frames, and break down what's happened this week all throughout the week through news. We actually saw NFP come out Thursday, not Friday, because we do have Independence Day today, so there may not be too much movement on the charts. We did see, though, not too much going on here. We had standard manufacturing and services really come out as expected. We did have a pretty good job jolt, but yet again, it's still fairly low considering where we have been previously. And then we saw a really bad ADP print, and that was maybe setting up for NFP to be bad, but I have noticed that sometimes when they give really shocking figures or overly inflated figures in the good side for USD on the ADP on a Wednesday, generally you see the opposite of that coming into NFP, which we did. We saw unemployment drop. It was actually forecasted to go up, and it didn't. It actually went down. That's a very, very big news event there. We did see a big reaction from that. We also saw NFP come out good. Average hourly earnings not so good, but overall I'd say that is a positive day there for the USD news. Before we get into the breakdown, I'd highly recommend you guys that are looking for a prop firm to head on to Prop Firm Match. They are the best website for prop firm comparison in the industry. They offer so much between comparing different prop firms through price, steps, news trading, all of that good stuff. And if you use my code Wilksy down in the description with a link, you will get double loyalty points. And what loyalty points allow you to do is build up these points and eventually get accounts for free using the Prop Firm Matches website, which is really, really good. And I highly recommend that for anyone who's trying to get into the prop firm space, is to use this to pick their best prop firm. And yeah, let's get back into the video. Going into this quarter on EU, we saw the close on, I think it was Monday. 1,000 pip body, huge. I mean, we had no wick to the top. We're closing right in this area now. We've got monthly areas that we can target if we do come up into these higher areas. But really, at the minute, it's very strong bullish. The reason why you can see we're breaking these highs, we're continuing through them. We could still get pullbacks. We didn't see any pullback the whole month, and that probably caught a lot of people off guard. You're expecting to see some kind of downside. It didn't actually come in. We just saw straight upside, and that hasn't happened in a very, very long time. If you look back, I don't even know a time where we've had no wick. That's very, very significant. And it just shows how weak the dollar is at the minute. I wouldn't even say the euro is strong. Wouldn't even say the pound is strong. But really, the USD is weak as hell right now. If we go to weekly time frame, we had a very, very strong weekly close going into last week. So what was I looking for? Obviously, I was looking for buys again. We know that we're obviously very high up now. We did break this liquidity as well. So we're breaking more liquidity. We also broke this area here, but that was a while ago. We're now looking at the next area above 1.19, so we may actually reach 1.20, which is mental as well, because I was looking at price reaching parity around end of last year. I think it was getting close to being at 1, and now we're back at nearly 1.2. We can look at the week then. Was looking for that upside. So what can we gauge here? So I've got the imbalance fill marked up, potential order block here we're setting up for. Really, the daily time frame gave you a lot of options. I was looking for a pullback really within the imbalance fill area. I like the 4-hour fair value gap off the order block. I thought that was really nice. These areas here, the dailies, I didn't mark in entries because it's just too high. I can't get enough risk to reward. There may not be a pullback that big, but yeah, again, I've got to wait for that to get a buy. I'm happy to wait for the buys to be missed if they do make new highs without pulling back to where I'm looking for entries. That's fine. And I'm also looking for confirmation candles. Even if we do get an early pullback and then we get confirm, then I can play up to the high. That's really it though, because as a whole, that is very bullish. But that's the question. Going into this quarter, going into the start of the new one, are we going to see price take out previous monthly high first, and then we're going to get a pullback? Guess we're going to have to wait and see. But that was really EU. So I set two positions here, one off around the imbalance fill area, one down at this daily, covering into this weekly potential order block that we could form coming into this week. As for GU, a little bit more interesting. Higher time frames yet again, very, very strong overall quarterly close. We are very close now, coming into a very significant area, to be honest. These equal highs here on the quarterly time frame, significant, because if we start sweeping them, we may start overall being bullish on the very big higher time frames. Because at the minute, it's still very bearish. We've been trending down overall, but we still haven't seen them taken out yet. On the monthly time frame, again, saw a really nice close. We did make a wick, not like EU. We filled the imbalance, which was really small. No monthly liquidity broken there. If we go on to the weekly time frame, we can see we had a huge week. The candle was 300 and something pips, I believe, from the low. 320. Huge week. We broke this area, these equal highs, and then we come in and tapped into this high. We did not break it though. So coming into this week, we may see a deeper pullback before we get upside. Yet again, was looking for something similar to EU. We have potential order block forming here on the weekly if we don't do the imbalance fill, but I like marking them up as a potential area of interest. Also on the daily time frame, again, we had POIs really close here, but I wanted something in and around the imbalance fill again. Really wanted to get something off the daily POI here because that was giving me a decent enough R, just over 2.5. So I set one position here, one position further down. Literally at the minute, that's all it's been. The trading's been so simple. I've mostly took higher time frame positions that I set at the start of the week and just let them play out. I hold them. I set the positions on Monday morning, let the trades play out. If they play out, they play out. If they don't get tagged in, I'll take them off at the end of the week. And yeah, that's really how I trade. And to take medium time frames, I need to see what I want to see on a daily time frame. And at the minute, I've not really been seeing that. We obviously caught some nice buys within, I think it was this area here from the daily time frame. But apart from that, just going to be overall sitting out. So EU, Monday, let's go to it. We did clear. So cleared the previous weekly high. This was the quarterly close. Coming into Tuesday, we then saw price run up even further. So it's running away at this point. What you can't do is chase the move. The buys that I took and closed out here, in theory, if I was looking for continuations, I should still be holding this trade. But I have closed out based on the strategy. So that's fine. I'm going to let this play out. Going into Monday and Tuesday, GU didn't act quite the same. We did come up a little bit. We didn't take out previous weekly high. That gave you the monthly close below this area of liquidity. Tuesday took out previous weekly high, took out previous monthly high and previous quarterly high. Didn't really close strong. At this point, it was looking like a pullback maybe needed. So obviously, I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to wait for the buy. Wednesday, we saw an EU pullback. We filled this daily POI we just formed and then we bounced off it. Again, still too bullish to really take anything. But we did get a huge pullback. I think there's something to do with Rachel Reeves. I think she's the Chancellor of the Exchequer of the UK. I know she's very big in the Bank of England. But yeah, she pretty much had a meltdown, I think, in Parliament. And that made the pound go weak. I think that was creating scarcity over whether she'd keep her job or whether she would resign. Turns out, obviously, I think that's not being a thing anymore. And she's recovered from that. Typical, really. UK Parliament shambles. From the very start of the day, though, I saw price when it was up here. Before I knew it, I was getting alerts. I got triggered 170 pips further down the same day, which is mad. It's never really happening often, which we saw. Potential order book created from the high. We got tagged in, though, so we're in that first position. And really, that's been the week. The rest of the week, we can see on EU has just consolidated at the highs here. We're not looking that strong. We are potentially going to get a further pullback soon. It's yet to be seen. If we can't hold above previous weekly high, then we may get the pullback. But yeah, I'm not catching any buys this week, so them trades are taken off now. And that's a week done for me on EU. Nothing really clear there. And as for GU, we're obviously still in this trade. I don't know if it looks too good. I think yesterday's close was okay, but we're obviously seeing a fight against a huge Wednesday candle with bank holiday today. I think we're probably going to close bearish on the weekly time frame. We're not even correcting half of this weekly candle yet, though, so I wouldn't even say it's that bearish. We know we could be having issues at this weekly, though. Therefore, we may get deeper pullback. But really, at this point, the end of this week's coming in. I'd be taking this trade off. This trade's going to be held, I believe, going into next week. But I won't be adding positions, and I won't be setting up for further buys on EU if we close weak. I'll be waiting for daily confirms for that because it is looking like we're starting to create some issues. Yet again, though, what I want to speak about is understanding how the daily candles are forming. We haven't really seen a rejection candle here. You see these 3 wicks? There's no real rejection. We did take out previous daily high yesterday from Wednesday's candle. There isn't really any significance to tell you that that is going down yet, though. And you can see on the 4 hour, it's just ranging at the highs here. We had a bit of a push up. We've consolidated. We've come into this area, this low, and we've bounced off it. But we may come down further and take out current weekly low. It's all yet to be seen. As for GU, we're just going to sit and wait to see what it does. We still have a lot of time left for this quarter and this month. And I took one trade so far. So this one trade's running. We're going to see how this plays out. Really, I'm not expecting too much from GU. I've took 4 winners, 5 winners in a row. I've missed a few extra trades. That would have been like 7 wins in a row on GU. So am I expecting a loss at some point? Yes, I am. And it may not happen now. We could still win this trade. But I'm just keeping a reality check of, you took so many wins on this, you're due a loss. So don't expect this to just win. Many traders get caught up in a winning streak and thinking that this trade's going to automatically win, get disheartened when it doesn't. Really, though, you've got to understand that, yeah, we have seen some pretty good news for the dollar. We did see NFP come out quite good. And although we did correct that quite quickly here with this drop, come back to my entry, we haven't seen a continuation from that yet. And we've just swept the overall highs here that we formed from yesterday. So we could still easily head down. We don't know what we're going to do yet. It's going to be a quite slow trade. I'm really just keeping in check with what I'm doing, not being overconfident. If we go to the accounts, we can see the 2 funded accounts. We've got an FTMO running a bit of profit right now. This trade is a 1% risk. This trade's a 0.5% risk on GU. Fivers, we do have a position in here. We can see the equity's up a little bit. But yeah, that's still to be running, 0.75% risk. Funded next, we've got a 0.75% risk on the funded. We're up nearly 1% on the equity. And that's another thing. I think when you're new to getting prop firms and funding, as soon as you go in a bit of profit, you look and go, oh, if I closed out all my prop firms, I could make $5,000-$6,000. But that's not the way to trade them. You've got to understand that the trade that you take is the move, not seeing a profit on there. And I really vouch to not even look at these accounts. Really, if you're scared about looking at the profit, that shouldn't really be a thing. Trading's never actually about the profit. It's all about the move. And the move comes before the profit. So don't look at all these accounts and think, oh, I could stack up a couple of $1,000, because really that's not the game, is it? If you could be missing out thousands and thousands of extra dollars if you held the trade. As for the challenge, I accidentally risked 1% on this. I meant to risk 1.5%. So we are going to only probably be around break even if we win this trade. But I'm happy with that. We'll be back into getting that trade from the beginning. I'm going to mentally say that is the start of a new challenge, because I've really struggled with that challenge overall. I think capital, we're close to actually passing. We're up about 8,000 now. So we've only got, this is a 10% challenge. At the time, I purchased a 5%, 10% because that's what I like. They have took that away on Think Capital now, which I haven't actually realised until recently. So I don't know if I'm going to go for another account with them on a 4% daily loss and 8% target, 8% max daily, max overall drawdown. But I like the 10%, 5% because that is what I'm used to. So yeah, if we didn't do that, we'd be in passing phase 1 now, but ultimately I would have failed the account because I already hit 8% drawdown. So swings and roundabouts, eh? And then finally, what I have done is I have gone for an E8 account. Whilst they don't quite relate to the way I trade in regards to news, I'm going to work around that. I think they've got really good reviews. Prop Firm Match, recommend them, and I've only heard really good stuff with them, and I've gone for a 200k evaluation. So this is the last prop firm I'm going to go with, I think, for now. This year, this is it. I know if any other prop firms reach out and I genuinely think they're good and you guys could benefit from them, I may try one out with them. But apart from that, I think this is it now. I think this is it. We've got 200k here, so you can get, I think, 500k max. So again, probably could purchase another 200k of E8 if they're good. And I'm not too sure about Think Capital, what I'll do with them, but depends how good they are on the funded stage. Then we'll see what they're like. As a result, though, I'm liking the dashboard. They weren't the cheapest E8, but yeah, again, I like that. The expensive challenges seem to be the best. And yeah, let's see what it does. I think I paid about £1,000. It's probably about $1,450. I think that was for a 200k, which is very expensive. I did add on the extra 5%, 10%. I think standards 4%, 8%. So yeah, again, I'm sticking to what I know and what I like to do in the prop firm challenge. And the reason being is because I do risk a bit more. But in this account, I think I'm realising now, with the funding that I've got, building up a lot of prop firm capital, I'm not in a rush to pass challenges anymore. They're just going to go on in the background. So 1% risk on this, taking it slow, taking it steady, coming into the summer months, not going to stress. And that's why, yeah, even though I am risking 1.5% on this, risking 1% on this isn't the end of the world, because really, I don't need to pass prop firm accounts now. It's just more about getting payouts over time, slowly building up extra capital in the background, which I can do with these 3 accounts that I've got. So that's a wrap for the first week of July and overall the first week of the quarter. We're going to see what we do finishing off this week, and we may have a potential bearish weekly close on GU, but overall, I don't think I'll be bearish just yet on EU or GU. I'm going to be waiting for a little bit more, a real push to the downside, a real failures at the highs, because we haven't seen that at all yet. We've continued to make new highs, and I think it's really hard to go in the mentality of selling these pairs at the minute. We could see it. We could see a big sell-off, but I'm not counting in when that's going to happen. I'm just going to react and just go with the flow, see what we pick up, and yeah, just run with the rest of the quarter really. Going into it, first trade, so much to go. Remember this, first trade of the month, first trade of the quarter, and the first trade in the second half of the year. Don't get overwhelmed. It is one trade of many you'll take, probably between another 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, some traders 100 more trades you'll take in this half a year. So don't get caught up in this one specific move. It is just one trade and there's many more to come. Just got to focus on the long game. That's what I always say and vouch. So yeah, remember that. But yeah, guys, take care. See you next week. See you later. Take care. Peace out.